Is this working? I think so.
Are we live?
We are live.
We are live at the NRA Annual Meeting in Houston, Texas at the Voices of the Second Amendment area. And I'm here with my partner, Matt Mallory. We're very pleased to be here again this year, and we're going to be streaming live from the Voices of the Second Amendment area all day long and on Saturday and Sunday. There'll be times where Matt may leave and I may leave because we're doing other seminars, but we're going to be broadcasting here over the weekend. And tomorrow and Sunday, we'll be sharing the booth with Gun Freedom Radio. So Cheryl Todd and her husband will be on here as well. But our first interview of the day, as we've worked out all the kinks and the technical issues,
So many.
is someone that I think you're going to really enjoy learning about. And you probably know about them already, but maybe you don't know about these cool new things that they're doing. Matt, would you do the introduction?
Definitely learning about, not learning about. Leering about, yeah. Anyway, I've known Gordon for many years. Gordon Bond Arms, a new addition product that they're working on that we're going to be talking about here. Jake, and excited about it. I've got one of the snake slayers from back in the day, and I use that every once in a while for some gophers and such in the yard. And people always love the Bond Arms product, so
They do.
definitely glad to have you.
I appreciate it.
Gordon, Jake.
Thanks for having us. Great to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So you had me at suppressor when you walked up. I was like, ooh, that's new and interesting, and I'm always a fan of neat, cool things. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so, really, it was, so I've developed suppressors for quite a while. I've been in the industry for many years, and obviously silencer is a booming market right now, and I've kind of been bored of developing the same stuff because everybody's doing a 3D printed 30 cal can, and I want to do something unique, and because I love suppressors, they're fun.
And now's the time too, with no tax stamp fee.
And I'd actually started this before all that went down, so it works out pretty good.
That's great.
But had a mutual friend in the industry kind of set me up with Gordon and the Bond guys, and it got my gears turning. Like, what would it take to suppress a Derringer? And I started thinking, like, what would that be like? You got two bores, you got some challenges there. Well, like, do they share a volume? Do they have a separate volume? How do you mount it? Then I started thinking, well, it's going to retain your brass. It's like, oh, it's a locked breech. There's no action noise. Mm-hmm. Maybe this could be really cool. How would I actually accomplish sealing this? And thought, okay, well, with two bores, you're going to probably have to use something like wipes. Tested, traditional design, but it has to be absurdly large to sound good. Right. So we went with the wipes design, and it solved and caused problems. And after some iteration development, we ended up with this, which is just so much cooler than I even expected it to be. I mean, you're talking like this overall package is shorter than a modern handgun, like a Glock 19 with a standard size suppressor. So it's much shorter, and then you're shaving off about 6 decibels on average because you're eliminating the action noise and using wipes and ablative media. So it is just ridiculous.
You really put a lot of thought into that.
I find it really ironic that suppressors are a booming market, but suppressors help to reduce the boom.
Goodness. And just so you guys are wondering, we're not touching anything because we're also streaming live on YouTube. So make sure you go over there and subscribe on YouTube. And if we do, we'll get shut down in a mark. So we can only do the Vanna stuff as Clint's doing so awesomely well. Yeah. So what brought you to Bond? I mean, you had said originally it was the suppressor aspect of it. You reached out to the engineer from what. Talking to Gordon, had mentioned you reached out to the engineer, and did you have the idea?
I had the idea prior to engaging in this, mutual friend engineer that's worked with Bond in the past kind of started the conversation of us working together, and in the end, this works out great. I mean, I know the suppressor science extremely well. That's my history. They make the guns, so I came up with a mounting method to be able to seal the front and mount and keep the bores aligned and all that stuff. So
you can't. I'm guessing you can't just twist it off because it's two barrels. So
so it's got an outer sleeve in order to service it. So the outer sleeve unthreads, but the core is permanently affixed because it has to be aligned, and you have to maintain a seal against the muzzle of the barrel. So it's fully integrated. So we'll call it an integrally suppressed. You can find me about that. Some people are very partial to what integrated means. So it is meant to be a permanent installation. The core mounts to the barrel face. Customer doesn't mess with it from there, but they'll just take the sleeve off to service it.
That's cool. Funny. You get into that terminology, and like gunsmiths will get into a fist fight in the parking lot over what direct gas impingement means. No, that's fantastic.
So at first when this idea was brought to us, we were thinking, you know, that'd be sort of cool. Don't know how people are going to feel about this. It's a Derringer, you know. Of course, we're known for big caliber, you know, heavy duty guns, and we've had people look at doing suppressors before, but they had all sorts of issues of trying to figure out how to do it with the double barrel, because that is a challenge. And so,
so you got the guy then?
Yeah, so we got the guy. So anyway, we Jake joined us at SHOT Show and showed, and we just said, hey, just stay here, you know, show at the booth. It went a little viral, and one video that we know of had like 3 million views, and people were just so overwhelmed with, wow, this is like really cool. Can I get one? You know,
pre-order.
Yeah. And so when we had a chance to
show me the money,
So we're like he said, we're going to make the gun with a special barrel so that he can attach that, and so the sales will be basically going through Jake on that. You can get information from bondarms.com, but be sending them to this guy.
Awesome.
So anyway, we went to he came to our shop, and so he gave us an example of a what was it, what kind of gun was it that you were shooting? Was it a Glock, or I can't remember, the one you had suppressed, and we were comparing sound to?
Oh yeah, that was a Glock.
Okay.
Glock 19.
So
Glock 17.
Glock 17. And so that was suppressed, and so we shot that, and then we shot this, and it was like, wow, it's way quieter.
Wow.
You know, so it's like, you know, you could tell the difference.
So I imagine the R&D aspect of it, because you can swap the barrel out. That's kind of one of your designs. So you basically just have another press where you make a different barrel with a different. So it's not as much as like having to redesign a whole new gun, or.
Yeah, I haven't got that far with it yet.
Okay.
Now, of course, you know, just for all you guys out there, no 410. Does not go good in suppressor.
4570.
Yeah. Well, we actually had somebody do a 50 AE suppressor, but you know, the 45 long Colt, we could do that as long as it's chambered only in 45 long Colt, because you don't want to shoot any of the CCI shot shells, 410 shells. Big mess. They're not going to turn out well. Sure. But as long as you're doing like a 45 or the 9mm or 380 or
solid projectile,
you know, solid projectile, probably good to go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we're going to start with the 9mm. That's the one we're driving to get, because it's the most common. So that's the round form factor one. The square one's actually a 3D printed one, and man, I'll talk you off for another half hour if you want me to go into details of why that has to be that way when you go up in caliber. The short of it is, when you go up in bore size, it introduces a whole lot of other things that, if you want the larger bore, it makes sense to go to this form factor. So that one's going to come out later. We're focused on the 9mm to get that rolling out the door. There's been a ton of asks for that, and then we'll expand calibers down the road and do the boxy one.
This is fascinating, and when we get into the gearhead stuff with suppressors, I'd love to talk more about that, because I think our listeners will be fascinated.
For sure.
So perhaps we should do a long format episode.
Bring them on.
For an hour talking about that.
Yeah, because he could actually show you how easy it is to take it off, clean it, remove the swipes.
Nice.
Well, it's a date. It's a date.
There you go. So I want to throw this out to everybody. So I totally threw Matt off this morning because he was going to do an interview on Bond Arms. So I dragged Jake over here, and we showed these two guns to Matt, and he about lost it. I mean, he about lost it. He was going, whoa!
Let me know if you'd like to shoot those in the Fun Gun Shoot coming up on July 3rd.
So anyway, you want to move on to?
Tell us what the goodies you got.
One more thing. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so my company's Third Echelon Development, or 3E Dev, website 3edev.net. This on this Glock at 19X here, this backplate, again, can't touch it, or I can show it a little bit better. That backplate is a special design of ours. So I've shot a ton of suppressed handguns in the past, doing R&D and stuff, and you pretty much have to wear iPro with a lot of these guns. Some are worse than others, depends on your ammo. But with most modern handguns, you've got the gaps in the back of the slide in the slide plate that allow you to take it down and all that. And when you add a suppressor, it increases the amount of pressure in the system, holds pressure in the front coming back down the barrel. So when it cycles, you get a lot of unburnt crap going wherever it can go. So if you've shot a lot of suppressed handguns, you may have felt that, where you basically just get blasted in the face, like with little spurts of unburnt powder and carbon. So what this does is it basically shrouds the back. It's basically a curved shroud that hovers over the back of all those gaps between the frame and slide and the back of the gun. So when you shoot suppressed, all that crap comes back and basically just gets scooped and redirected down. downward rather than in your eyeballs.
Cool.
So versus iPro being critical for safety, it just alleviates a ton of that for safety and just comfort in general.
Nice.
And the feedback I get on these is most people kind of think like, oh, I doubt it does that much, and then people who shoot it say, wow,
Okay.
that makes a like night and day difference. Like they
Very
didn't
cool.
expect it to make that much of a difference.
Nice.
But it's a 2-piece machined assembly. It has to click up in order to actually take down the pistol because it has to clear the frame rails.
Right.
So disassembly, reassembly, clicks up out of the way, detents back down, which is how you always shoot it. Doesn't affect the operating system in any way otherwise.
So it's a whole
Super
back plate
passive.
replacement.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
It takes literally seconds to swap them out. So
What is it? Necessity breeds invention.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
that's absolutely it. I love
So
that.
you also have the long gun there.
Right. So a lot of people have been just beating us up about this lever gun.
Okay.
And
Beating you up how? Like I want it, or
I want it, and where is it?
yeah, get it to
And-
market.
Yeah. So in 2023, we had a prototype we showed at the SHOT Show.
Yep.
Ended up winning Recoil Magazine's best
Yep.
firearm of show. We were shocked, and then like, oh no, now we got to figure out how to make these because we're handgun manufacturers.
Reminds me of Microsoft.
And it's one of those things where we started down that path, very long path. We had to re-engineer a lot of things to really make it to where it's production ready.
Mhm.
And just as an update, so we just shipped our first official guns, and this is going to be very low production. So I'm going to let you guys know that when we're actual full production is probably going to start in July. It's going to be very light production. We're only going to do about 200 guns a month for a couple of months,
Wow.
just to work through our, we're a small company.
Yeah.
We want to do it right. As you well know, our reputation is, we try to make it as outstanding as we can.
Absolutely.
And so we've really put a lot of time and effort into this thing to really make it run smooth, reliable, and hopefully you guys will have a ton of fun with it. But if you want one, we're only making like 200 a month. A lot of those are already spoken for. I'm hoping by the end of the year we'll be up to about 1,000 guns a month,
Nice.
and then next year we'll start upping the numbers. So going to be fairly exclusive for the rest of the year.
So if someone shows up at the Bond booth today and they know the secret handshake,
Grease palms.
There
Grease
you
palms.
go. There you go. So, but the feedback, you're going to start seeing some articles come out on it. We just built about 60, between 60 to 65 guns because we were wanting to test everything out before we got POs in and all that. We're going to bring some of those pre-production guns that we have done this from, and they will cost a little bit more. And if you're interested in those, this is going to be a different series on the serial number. It's going to cost a little bit more, but they are going to be a collector's item.
Nice.
So anyway, if you want to do that, let us know.
So 556.
556-223. It's a 233 wild.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
And
It's even better for access.
soon,
Best of both worlds.
yeah,
That's
that's
for
right.
both worlds.
And so then we'll be coming out with 300 blackout because the suppressed version of this is just so quiet.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at the tip of that, and I'm like, I want to slap a suppressor
Yeah.
on that thing.
And the thing is since it's a fixed breech with the lever,
Yep.
you have no blowback, and it keeps it clean.
Yeah.
Everything stays cleaner. Everything's quieter. And I mean, it's a fun gun to shoot. It's a fun gun to shoot.
That's
So,
awesome. And when you came up with it, the first one in the industry, right?
Yeah.
That was
And we actually have the patent on
good.
this. So
Good. That's that's so cool.
But we wanted to
So
do it right, and I apologize to all you guys that have been beating us up. Where's it? Where's it? Where's
Hey,
it?
better to come out with it right
It is
than
really, we are really close now.
rolling them out.
So
Awesome.
on another hand, it's American 250. So we have the 45-410 special edition.
Nice.
It's got a really nice flag and the Lady Liberty on the other side that you might want to check out. So that is the land of the free gun. So this is the America. This is the land of the redneck gun in 45-70.
I thought you were going to say land of the free, home of the
Hey,
brave.
there you go. Land of the redneck version.
I like
So,
that. 4570 rednecks.
We from Texas, we got a little redneck in it, so we had to do that. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys
we
appreciate
may
it.
not all sound the same, but let me tell you, there's rednecks all
All
over
of
the
us.
country.
Yeah. Even in
right.
even in
That's
New
right.
York and PA.
And so if you get a chance to go to bondarms.com, we got a lot of this stuff. We got videos of everything. Not so much the suppressed, but we can get that information to you. You might give them their website again.
3edev.net. You can look at more of the Derringers there, or any of our socials is 3edev, YouTube, Instagram, all the stuff.
And that is
Facebook.
3E what?
3edev, 3edev.
Okay, .com or .net.
.net, yeah.
All right.
And your booth here at the NRA Annual
Yeah,
Meeting.
we're just right down the aisle from
What's
here.
the booth
It's 3415 or something like that.
So come down to the annual meeting to 3415 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Right around the corner.
Bond Arms, easy to find on the map.
What most of the people that tell us when they try to come by the booth, they look for the crowd, because we usually have a crowd around our booth. So because we bring crazy stuff. So
Very cool. Well, I think we need to give this 2 thumbs up.
Oh yeah, 2 thumbs.
4,
Absolutely.
6. We're
Cool.
good.
Gentlemen,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
There you go, there you
Thank
go.
you for coming on the show.
All right. And we'll be back with our next guest coming up soon.
We off?
No,
Are we still on?
we're still on.
Still on.
I didn't get that set up yet.
All right, well, while Matt's figuring that out,
Yep. Sounds good.
you guys can go to the restroom, grab a coffee, and come back. We'll have Gideon Optics on here in a bit.
Yeah, Gideon Optics.
The thing I've learned.
Dun, dun, dun. We're back.
We're back at the NRA Annual Meeting 2026, and we're at the Voices of the Second Amendment area at the Meet the Pressers and Gun Freedom Radio Studio of Liberty.
That's it. I like that. Like
yeah.
you just came up with that out of nowhere. I love it.
Yeah, so we have a dear friend of ours, a friend from Pennsylvania, but he has also been a show sponsor for quite a while now, and got his hands in all kinds of things. So
Jordan, Gideon Optics, good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
So what's new in the world of Gideon Optics?
Oh boy, we have a bunch of things. We launched a couple new ones at SHOT Show, which we've sold out, so we're waiting on some restock there. Yeah, so that was nice little surprise there.
Those are good problems.
Yeah,
for sure.
So our main one was the Pebble, we call it. So it's designed for the Bodyguard 2.0, Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. So it uses a dovetail insert. Optic mounts down to that dovetail insert, and we kind of overhang the side of the slide, so it looks like it's cut into the slide, but there's no slide modifications needed. So that one's been pretty popular.
Cool.
A couple battle rifle red dots, things like that. So we have some long range stuff coming out probably middle of the year, towards the end of the year.
So higher.
Yeah, 5 to 25 is just about done. 6 to 24, 1.5 to 12, I think, coming too. We're working on that. So we got some other things happening.
So are you the engineering mind?
No, I'm the idea guy.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Hey, it makes
and when they work, it's my fault.
Yeah,
if it doesn't work, then I got it from Matt. So yeah, but
it was Matt's idea.
Yeah,
it's garbage.
So we have a nice team together. So we all have our strengths, and engineering's not mine. So I leave that to somebody else. Just say, hey, I like that. Do it this way.
So
Please.
you're the idea man, and then you write the checks.
Yeah.
Hey, that works too. That works too.
That's definitely something that needs to be there
Yep.
in a successful business.
Yep. Some of the guys test them. Some of the guys destroy them. So we have a
Destroying.
the
That's
full
kinda
gamut.
cool.
Yeah.
Destroy.
Yeah.
So you started Gideon. How long has it been now?
I think it's been 3 years now. NRA was our first public appearance.
Really?
I think 3 years ago.
Yeah. And
Wow,
I
that's
think
awesome.
you guys have done amazing things
Yeah.
in a very short amount of time. That's
Leaps
fantastic.
and bounds.
Yeah, we called in all the favors I think we stacked up over the years, and
Hey, favors
Yeah,
are good, man.
yeah,
When you know
yeah.
people.
Yep, lean on some of our friends and moving right along.
So you do have other companies.
We do.
And one of those companies is sponsoring the Gunmakers match that this year is being held in Michigan, right?
Right, yeah, in May 15th, I think, that weekend. But yeah, it's the Gunmakers match. We've done it a few different places all over the country, and just a great community of home builders and self-built firearms, whether 3D printed or from an 80% or from totally non-traditional means. So it's a great competition to kind of see the real side of home-built firearms versus what you see on the news and the hype that you get clicks for. So it's nice to see normal people do normal things with normal firearms.
Oh, it just the innovation. I still remember the one guy. You had it in Pittsburgh the last couple of years, so I was able to attend and be a help there.
I wish.
One guy had a recoil system for a 1022 that was opposite.
Wow.
It was just the coolest thing I'd ever
That's
seen,
neat.
and it functioned very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
One
you-
of the cool things about that match is not only do you need to shoot well to win the match, but then your gun has to make it through the match.
You can't blow up.
Yeah, so I've placed well in the staff matches, really only because the other guys that shoot better than me, their guns broke.
Yeah, I'm used to doing the Lego guns. ARs, you just slap the stuff
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat to print it. I know Dave Moltrup, one of our media guy, student of mine from way back in the day. He printer does stuff. He'll show up with stuff. It's like, oh, that's neat. That's cool. The 3D printing thing's just insane how that stuff. And in New York, they can't do it. They actually, they're making a law. They got a bill going for it to become law where they have to, manufacturers of the printers have to actually make it so they can't print gun parts. Like, no, that's like microstamping. It's not, the technology is not even available.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly have to navigate some really ridiculous legislation and laws.
Well, even in
out there,
PA.
and with court cases that have come up,
Yeah.
and there's some challenges out there, and we got one in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that we're waiting for a ruling on, and
Right.
so there's a lot to be. We just got to wait and see.
Yeah.
But it's important for all of you gun owners out there to register to vote and vote.
Absolutely.
You got to register to vote. We have a midterm election coming up. That midterms, a lot of times people are a little more complacent about.
Can't be.
But gun owners have to get registered and go out and vote. It costs nothing to register. but you could lose everything if you don't have your voice heard and the crazy people take over and start squelching our rights and restricting things.
And we've even more now with like PA and all these other states joining on. They want to get rid of the Electoral College, and if that happens and they go with the popular vote, supposedly it's going to be even harder to. Your vote's not going to be worth less. So definitely vote. And also don't forget to register for the giveaway. MeetThePressers.com/giveaways. And you get a red dot. So you want to tell a little bit about that?
Sure. So it's one of our new battle dots. It's called the Mediator XL. So it's a great big giant window, rugged metal housing.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's a fun one. So I think you'll enjoy it, whoever wins. So
Cool.
We could call it the Meat Eater from Meet the Pressers.
There you go.
That's what the giveaway.
There you go. The Mediator.
When you ask Alexa, play Meet the Pressers, it's Meet, MEAT.
DEPRESSERS.
Like some foreign,
Sounds like a movie I once did sound.
Yeah.
That's for another show.
So what's your booth number here? If anyone's coming down to
4545.
Look at that.
45.
Yeah.
That's easy to remember.
And it's also up on MeetThePressers.com/giveaways. So the booth number's there too, in case you're, here and you don't want to write it down.
Right.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for
and
having
as
us.
always, thank you for your support and what you're doing in Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yep.
Thanks. We'll be back in a little bit. Stay tuned.
Audition.
Just doing a check real quick.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Making sure it looks good.
That looks good.
All right. We'll be back at 10 o'clock with our next guest. Dun, dun, dun. DJ Play Nice. There is no giveaway code. It is just sign up. You go to the giveaways page, not the monthly giveaway. Giveaways.
Hey everybody, this is Clint Macro with Meet the Pressers. Matt Mallory, my esteemed colleague there, is inputting some data. We're waiting for our next guest, which is Rob Pincus. One of the things about NRA Annual Meeting that's very difficult, it's to get from point A to point B. This is a massive, massive show. There's a lot of distance to cover, but what happens is you'll take a step and it's like, hey Clint, how you doing? And you take another step, it's, hey Clint, how you doing?
I fought that this morning because I had that happen 5 times.
It's very nice and flattering, but when you have to get to an appointment, it's really hard.
There
he is.
Pincus!
Pincus.
So, I was headed for the sign.
Yeah, so our guest, Rob Pincus.
Apparently everything
Here, give me a hug.
going to be East Coast time versus
See, big guy.
Central time.
Here, have a seat. Have a seat. We'll get you mic'd up. We're already on.
Look at this group of influencers.
Jeff.
What the hell? Wow.
Here, sit back. You're ruining my shot. Move your seat back.
It's a sheen, sir. It's a sheen.
Whoa.
All right. Oh, go ahead. There you go. Yeah, be professional.
You guys get some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, are people watching us?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we're live. The feely
Don't say anything
feely.
inappropriate.
Sweet. Yeah. Here we are in the Central time zone running on the East
You're on a
Coast.
bus.
schedule.
Oh, I know, right? It's crazy.
Allow the thing to dress me.
There you go.
There.
All right. So here we are live at the NRA Annual Meeting at Voices of the Second Amendment area at the Meet the Pressers Gun Freedom Radio booth with our special guest, Rob Pincus.
It's good to be here.
It's so good that you made it. I haven't seen you in quite a while. Man.
Yeah.
Oddly. It's been oddly long.
Yes.
Yeah. You, I feel like I've seen since then. Look, I just got my little tag.
I got to get mine.
I know. I got to get my. I don't know what's going on.
Life
So,
member stuff.
First meeting. Glad to be here. Super excited.
First meeting. Wow.
Yeah. First meeting of the day.
So we're breaking in your 2026 NRA Annual Meeting and exhibits. Get bug flying around.
So,
Media.
so
Yeah.
how far did you drive to get here nonstop? Did you just
no.
arrive
you
here or
flew.
did you
No,
stay
I
at a
got
hotel
in.
last
I
night?
got in last night around midnight. You
Careful.
want to join our live show?
Like hell.
So we had I was teaching yesterday. I was teaching on the range till about 4:30 in Eastern North Carolina with our buddies at G Code Holsters at the Sanctum 1791
Awesome.
range, which is an amazing range. First time I've taught there, and then they all looked at me like I was crazy because I told them what time my flight was, and they were like, "Well, go. You better go now." So we did the debrief in about half an hour. I got in the car, got in the airport in Wilmington, North Carolina, flew here, got here around 1 a.m.
Well, so here we are. That's plenty of time to catch
Yeah.
a few
Plenty
scenes.
of
And
time.
still look dapper.
Have a Red Bull. You know how it is. Yeah. So
I thought that was for us.
no, I had mine outside.
Oh.
I'll take that one.
I don't know whose that is. Is that yours?
Yeah, so G Code
G Code Holsters.
is one of the sponsors of the PDN training tour this year.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yep. G Code has been with us now. I think we were talking about yesterday. 4 years. Now I've known Scott, the founder of G Code, for we figured like 31 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we have
That's
been
longer than
buddies
you
for a
guys have
long
known each
time.
other.
It is actually. Yeah, I think it is. It's probably getting close. But we met in the old like forums, the old like the high road,
Oh.
the firing line.
Yeah, the
Like
firing
way
line.
back in the
Oh,
day,
wow.
right?
Remember
That's how
that.
we met through all that. And I was actually at his first building when it was still like the shop out behind the house kind of situation when he first really launched the company. I was there. His daughter, I think, was in there working with him. I mean, it was just like literally like him making holsters. And to see what they have now,
Yeah.
the capabilities. And I think I did the last factory visit there, like back in August. They do an amazing amount of work. Not only all the stuff you would imagine a holster company does, but you're talking about a huge business. They do machining there. They make their own dies for
Wow.
presses. They do CNC. They've got laser computer-controlled cutters and computer-controlled stitching and everything else to make the web gear that they make, all the scorpion systems, the pouches. The company's a lot bigger than I think a lot of people understand, and we're really proud to be working with them, obviously, not only at Personal Defense Network, but they also make some great holsters for the PD-10 for us at Avidity Arms. They were one of our launch, one of the companies that at launch had holsters for us.
So how are
So talk-
sales been with
Yeah,
the PD10?
Talk about that.
PD-10's been, picked a great time to launch a gun company, right? So we're hoping that the market in general goes up. And of course, as the market goes up, that rising tide raises all boats. So we'll move up with them. It's really been about, for me, I talked for a lot of years about the difference between like a napkin sketch of a gun or a list of attributes and how hard it is to get from that to something that actually shoots. Now that has changed over the last decade, 12 years, right? Since we first had the idea, because of 3D printing, because of rapid prototyping, additive materials. Like we can get, if you came up with the idea of a gun today, we'd have you a gun, you know, as long as it worked with some existing parts, and we didn't have to do too much metal work, right? We would be able to do that pretty quick. Well, to get from the idea to the prototype took us years, a few years. To get from the prototype to a production gun, that was many years. Now, granted, I always tell people it's not like that's all I was doing, right? I wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Whether it's,
Well, I remember I saw the first prototype you showed me from the tailgate of your truck.
Exactly.
And it was like JB welded. And
so the first like probably 12 guns that we were shooting a lot were like this vendor was making that part, this vendor was making that part. We had a CNC guy over here. We had a stamped parts guy over here. We had the frame coming from an injection molder. And we'd get all the parts together and then they wouldn't work. Right? Like you'd have to shave this and Dremel that, JB weld, fill in a hole, whatever, to make the gun work. So those guns were, you know, if we went to market that way, not only was it a little bit ugly on the inside, but also it's a $2,000 gun. Yeah. Well, we weren't trying to make a $2,000 gun. So to get to the point where we had all the parts being made to a tolerance standard that would fit with all the other parts. Of course, a lot of people know a few years ago we moved the company to North Carolina, and we got under the same roof as a manufacturing company that could do like 90% of what we needed. So all our parts, all the major parts were made under one roof. We were able to then take those parts, they worked together. If they didn't, everybody was in the same room. So that lift from working prototype and proven design to a gun that we could sell for $600 was a big lift.
oh, just even the communications, just to be able to walk over and say, hey, what do you think of this?
Huge. So what was great was once we did that, I was like high five, right? Like a guy from the instructor side of the industry designed an original gun, got it made, brought it to market at a fair price, and we're selling guns. To me, that was the mission accomplished, right? Turns out, like getting a business from you launched a product to you have a successful business is a whole
another year.
That was like the George W. Bush mission accomplished.
Yes, it was. It was very much. I was standing on the carrier. I was like, we did it. Like, so, but in a lot of ways, I have said, like, if we never sold another gun, I still did something that I never, if you'd asked me 15 years ago, it was never even on the agenda, right? So, again, being one, like, as far as I know, like we all as instructors have influenced gun designs. Some people very significantly. You know, I think of like Bill Jordan back in the day when he influenced the design of the Model 19 Smith & Wesson, the Combat Magnum. You know, he didn't start a revolver company. He worked with a very established revolver company to bring a great gun to market. So, to be an instructor that has actually designed a gun and started my own company and it's all U.S. made and all that high quality parts, all that stuff, that's an accomplishment. We never sold another gun. That's still something cool to, you know, tell the grandkids about, something for other people maybe to be inspired by, that it can be done.
Well, one of the other cool aspects of that as an educator, you would watch people shoot and you'd see how their hands would interface with guns and you kind of take a note and like, what if the gun was shaped a little more like this?
Yeah. That was always a complaint, right? Why are the guns made by engineering guys instead of by shooters? Yeah. And then it became, why are the guns designed by marketing guys instead of shooters? So I'm like, well, even more than a shooter, how about a guy that's watched thousands of shooters, you know, and help them to shoot their guns better? How can we start with a better platform? So, you know, when people say, why is the gun what it is? That's why. So it's not just what personally Rob wants. It's really, you know, I'd rather have 15 rounds than 10 too, but I think 10 plus 1 is fine. I'm not offended by 10 plus 1. I was actually carrying a Glock 48, right, before we had the PD-10. So the good news is, we're going to have a 15-round gun coming out pretty soon. So that's pretty exciting. So how are sales? Sales are keeping the company
not
alive.
available in New York, though.
Not available in New York.
Except for law enforcement.
Well, maybe you could get a 10-round magazine, and then the laws are going to change. I tell you what, I really do, on a politics note, I think what's happening in Virginia is going to take this to the next level.
Absolutely.
Because we're in a different circuit with Virginia, right? I was just up with Toby Leary up in Massachusetts at Cape Gunworks teaching a few days ago. You know, those guys are just stuck in the first circuit. None of the big organizations, including the NRA, are going to invest the time, effort, energy, money to fight a fight, hoping maybe you get to the Supreme Court. You have to have some chance of winning with that money and time investment. So I think the fight in Virginia is going to have a lot more legal legs, and then it will have trickle-down ramifications for New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Hawaii, California, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm very sad for the people of Virginia. I hate to see this happening, but I do see a little glimmer of that hope that we're going to be able to push back really hard, harder at them probably than they're even pushing now. It may not seem like that today.
Well, now that you mentioned Virginia, it's important that gun owners register to vote and vote in the midterm. Yes. You must register to vote and vote in the midterm. I was emceeing the FOAC Gun Bash, one of our big fundraisers. About 1,200 gun owners in there, and I asked, how many are registered to vote? And it made me sick to see how few hands went up. So you got to get registered and then educate yourself about pro-gun candidates.
And pro-gun candidates aren't always on one side.
True.
Right? We can find some people, especially at the state level. You know, and as I travel around and I go to things like Friends of the NRA banquets and some of the state level organizations, you know, that I go out and speak at or that I attend just because they're fun and they're great social gatherings. When I go to those things, I meet a lot of state level legislators who are independents, who are Democrats, they don't want to take away any gun rights at all. Right. And honestly, we know what the trend is always traditionally in American politics. At the midterms, it's going to go against the party that's in control.
I think the last time it didn't do that was Reagan, right?
Yeah. And Reagan was a little more popular than Trump, if you remember, for those of us old enough to remember. So I don't see it going well for the Republicans. That doesn't mean it has to be a tragedy for gun owners this fall. Yeah. So I think that's important.
And to that point too, I just endorsed our local county sheriff in Onondaga County, New York, and he's a Democrat.
Yep.
And
it happens.
Most interesting men in the world. I did a skit off of that.
Nice.
I don't usually vote Democrat. It's pretty funny. So we got DJ Play Nice wants to know about the Gunmakers match and what you have going on when you get involved, and then what cool things are out there that you've seen that might go along those lines.
There is so much going on. Gunmakers match is coming up the weekend of May 15th. It's going to be in Adrian, Michigan. Of course, we were in Pennsylvania for the last 3 years, and you were like co-host there, running it with Trigger Pressers Union, with FOAC at the Pitcairn Monroeville Sportsman's Club. And our plan all along was that the national match was going to move around, right? And that the then regional matches and regional educational gun making events that we've done would hopefully, kind of sprout local interest in continuing on when we move to the next location. So we've done events in Massachusetts, Colorado. I think we had one in Virginia, a couple in Florida. The national event was in Florida twice. We had the national event in Pennsylvania 3 times. Now we're picking up and moving the national event to Michigan. Michigan, it looks like their laws are changing later this year. We probably wouldn't be able to have this event there next year. But we actually have a lot of competitors who've even come to Florida and certainly came to Pennsylvania from Michigan. Wow. There's a great gun community there. It's getting a little bit fired up about the oppression, maybe more fired up than, we wish they were that fired up maybe a couple years ago and they wouldn't have some of these rights going away. Right. But that's sometimes what happens. That's sometimes what it takes. It's what we're seeing in Virginia. When the threat shows up, maybe we're a little bit too slow to respond, but when we start responding, we start pushing back heavily. Now, part of that pushback for Michigan is having the gunmakers match there this year. The big thing I think in gun making is PCCs. So we're starting to see guns that are truly original. They might use the barrel from an existing gun. They might use an AR fire control unit. It's so easy and so reliable and so good to fit into a grip area and interact with a bolt. The bolts themselves, very easy to put together and make yourself. The frame, the receiver, everything is very easy now. With 3D printing, it's come a long way. For well under $1,000, you can get printers that are like 10 times as good and 10 times easier to use than what we were using even just like 5 or 6 years ago. So that's come a long way. Unfortunately, the legal battle, the lawfare against the companies that make the kits, the quote unquote 80%ers, that has put a real dent in that part of the industry. But 80% Arms is still out there. There are other companies out there still making these kits that make it very easy for people to build guns. But honestly, 3D printing has come so far that also, if you just want to do a Glock clone, relatively simple to do. And there's plenty of guidance and plenty of help out there on the internet. At the Gunmakers match, we support both kit-built guns and original creations, which mostly are 3D printed guns. And I think the place I see the most innovation, like I said, the place I see the kind of coolest designs and the most fun guns is in the PDW, PCC kind of range, braced pistols mostly. The other cool thing, of course, is suppressors. We see a lot of people using Form 1s to make their own suppressors that are 3D printed.
Any oil cans?
No, I haven't seen anybody actually get a Form 1 on an oil can yet, but it's possible. But that wouldn't be a made suppressor, right? So we're actually thinking about next year, building up for next year, depending on where we have the match, going to a location where we're obviously good with gun making and we're obviously good with suppressors. And
so not New York.
Not New York, and having a special prize category for anybody who shoots the whole match with a homemade suppressor, a Form 1 suppressor. And then we probably split that up into metal, stamped or machined manufacturing and or drilled or smashed or whatever, and then 3D printed plastic one, because people are like, well, wait, wouldn't it just explode? Nope. The way these guns are designed, the suppressors, the way these suppressors are designed, the way that they're made, the construction, the technology, the angle at which you print, all of this adds up to, no, you're probably not going to get a lot of reliability and durability out of something if you're trying to shoot a 300 Win Mag through it. Right. I'm not going to put it on my Nemo Omen, but with 22s, with 9mm, you definitely can get a design that's worth filling out the Form 1 just to be proud and be able to say, yeah, I made my own suppressor and I did it with plastic or carbon fiber, nylon impregnated plastic, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more common for the free states or somewhat free states. Pennsylvania's in that category to be able to build suppressors or even buy them, because now the tax stamp's kind of gone and hopefully the NFA kind of goes away completely.
Another thing that and I know this affects you too. One of the things that people are starting to talk about, as it gets closer to June, I think we're going to hear more about this. If the tax stamp has gone away, then does the special occupational tax that we pay as manufacturers have any validity? So why are we still paying, depending on your level of $500 or $1,000 tax, if it's been rolled, the individual doesn't have to pay a tax on the items we're making? So for those of you who don't know, manufacturers pay a flat fee, a one-time fee, to be able to make suppressors underneath of their FFL. And then obviously they could be for resale, not for personal use, but for resale or for testing and evaluation. Like for me, Avidity Arms, we don't sell any suppressors, but we need to know that our gun works with different types of suppressors, and we need to be able to recommend which suppressor goes best with the gun or which ones we don't recommend. So it behooves us to have the special occupational tax and then be able to take delivery of samples from a lot of different manufacturers, or design our own designs and then be able to go back to manufacturers and say, we have found that our gun will work best with this type or this size or this weight, and try to encourage them to make things that work with more guns. So that's what the special occupational tax is about. But why are we paying that as companies when it's been ruled that the tax on NFA items is now gone?
Yeah, if it isn't all about the money, then what's it about?
Exactly.
It's either waste or infringement.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. So help me pay for my $500 annual tax stamp, or I'm sorry, my SOT fee that I pay, and sign up for the Fun Gun Shoot on July 3rd, psned.com, Fun Gun Shoot.
Well, you doing that in your place?
Right in my place.
I thought you were going to get into a Jerry's Kids telethon here for a second.
Right?
Help
the SOTs. Help the SOTs. I don't think SOTs get a lot of sympathy from sometimes, but there is a business reason to do it. It's not just like a way to get around the regulations. That's not what it is. There's a legitimate business reason for that, but I don't think the tax is legitimate. If we are manufacturers, then we are trusted and licensed by the government. We've done all the extra background checks, all the extra inspections, all the potential visits at any moment from the NRA. How about you just let us do our business without, again, incrementally just working us into the ground?
Absolutely.
Oh, visits from the ATF.
I have not.
No, you said NRA.
Oh,
they're not going to visit.
Did I say that? Oh, they might.
Yeah, they might.
NRA might show up.
Hey, NRA's welcome.
That would be welcome. That would be good. Yeah. Sorry, we're at the NRA. We're not at the ATF right now. So yeah, there's unexpected visits. Not good. What else? The tour. You're with us on the tour.
Yeah.
Perseverance Network Training Tour. I don't know how many years you've been on with us, but it's been a whole bunch now.
I think this is my sixth
awesome.
year, maybe.
So we're in our 12th or 13th year, and I think the main reason you have been doing more and more traveling over the years, right? And so and the tour is all about the instructors traveling out to bring the training to people on their ranges, in their hometowns, not just getting the videos or the articles from PDN. You've been a PDN contributor for a lot longer than that. And then as you've traveled and taught more, you've joined the tour, which is awesome. We've got 150 classes going on this year. You can learn more about them at pdntrainingtour.com. I've been a little negligent in getting all my classes listed. I spend a lot of my time, effort, and energy goes into the broader picture of the tour, and the hosts of classes do most of the advertising. But I've got classes coming up in Ohio, Michigan, Washington State, California, Colorado. Just finished up classes in North Carolina, Massachusetts. Been out in Hawaii. I'll be back out in Hawaii. It's going to be a busy year.
Do you wear a grass skirt on the line?
I don't.
Okay.
Why? I can't explain it.
Actually, my seminars here are my initial. Yeah.
Will you be wearing a grass skirt?
I might.
Dancing around the fire.
But the last piece of the puzzle for Gunmakers Match, so we kind of bounce off tangents, is gunmakersmatch.com. There are still slots available. We expect to have probably between 50 and 75 shooters this year. If you haven't already built a gun, there is still time within this next month for you to build a gun. We're about a month away, and there's definitely time for you to do it easily with a kit. And maybe even if you run out and hit Amazon and get that 3D printer on the way, you could be up and running and on the range with us in Adrian, Michigan at Creekside Consultants. It's an event that is sponsored by Guns for Everyone National, and I'm proud to be the match director. That's my finger in the pie of competition shooting.
Yeah,
and
I taught
I
taught the Saber pepper spray instructor class there, and we did UTM, the UTM instructor class.
Okay, yeah, so you've been out there.
Nope.
Yeah, they've done a lot of range improvements. We've got 5 bays set up for the competition, and one of them is going to be a long range bay. We're going to have a side match for launchers. That was kind of the big thing last year. People were really getting into the 37 millimeter launchers. There's a lot of cool designs.
We had them at the Fun Gun Shoot in July too.
There you go. All right, Fun Gun Shoot July 3rd. I don't know where I am for it, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe I need to go to New York.
Yeah, come to New York, man.
All right.
Actually, July 3rd and 4th, Augie and I are going to Philadelphia for the 250th.
Nice.
We got to be there.
That's very cool.
It was either there or Washington, D.C., and I can carry in Philadelphia, so we figured that would be our best bet.
So I was apparently at a celebration of the 200th anniversary in Philadelphia because we live. I lived in South Jersey. That's where my family's from. So I was there. I was very young. I don't remember it, but apparently I did participate in celebration, fireworks and whatnot on the river at the 200th anniversary. So wow, I'm glad you'll represent. I don't think I'm going to be there this year.
Yeah, so get into the 3D printing. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I built my first one the first time I hosted, and then I got to run it. But I tell you what, even if you don't do that, go to the Gunmakers Match and just watch. If you're a gun nerd, if you just enjoy looking at people who have a great deal of ingenuity and have figured out different ways to build maybe a better mousetrap.
Maybe. Or at least a personalized mousetrap.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the really, you're like, why would you do that? Well, if for no other reason, the gun's in the color you want, you can put your logo on it, put your initials on it, you can maybe change the frame size a little bit, you can narrow it down, you can contour it, you can do all kinds of things that, sure, can you do that with a Dremel with some commercial guns? Yes, but it's a lot cooler when you've done it yourself with your own original creation. Even if you are using a lot of traditionally made firearms parts, just having your hand in making something that easy, especially I think for us in the gun community, it's kind of cool that we don't have to fill out the forms.
Yeah.
Right. We can just do our own thing without the government being involved. There's something to that as well. Sure.
Very cool.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys stalling for me as I got settled in.
That's all right.
You guys got to see the behind the scenes. Here's the thing. I've got like 9 of these meetings today, so I feel like I'm going to be wearing the same clothes in 5,000 hours worth of content on the internet from NRA Annual Meeting and events and expos 2026.
That's totally fine. So how do people find out more about the gun and about the Gunmakers Match?
AvidityArms.com, GunmakersMatch.com, PersonalDefenseNetwork.com. Use the search machine.
You're a lot like me. I just do MalloryUnlimited.com, and that lists all of my business.
I have RobPincus.com.
There you go.
It just sits there. The whole idea was
it's a link tree. Your own link tree.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually done that. I don't know. I guess I'm not hungry enough. I would have done that in 2004.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah. Stay safe.
All right. Have a great show.
All right. Stick with us. Michael Zindini's up next. He's standing right there. We're going to get him mic'd up. We'll be right back. And we are back. Right. Hey everybody, we're back here at the NRA Annual Meeting 2026 in, where are we? Houston, Texas. At the Voice of the Second Amendment media area. We've got a good friend. Unfortunately, our buddy here, Clint Macro, has to go teach some seminars. So if you are here, definitely check out the seminar, and you can go to meetthepressers.com/giveaways to sign up for any of the giveaways. And there's actually a link on that page to both Clint's schedule and my schedule. And I'm teaching a class this afternoon, and I don't want to bore this guy too much. So we got Michael Sodini from Walk to Talk America here. Always great to have you on. Talk to you. Don't leave me hanging.
Oh,
the hand there.
So, this is a distracting row.
It is so distracting.
Everybody's coming.
Everybody comes by. And you're like, oh, hey, hi. Oh, that's right. I'm on a show. That's
exactly. It's got to be frustrating for you.
A little bit. It's more frustrating when they walk up and they want to shake your hand and you're recording, and you're like, no, we can't. Or they bump the camera. We've had that happen too. I'm gonna put some police tape across there and actually get my my stun gun out, kind of ward people away. Anyway, how you been?
I've been good, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's always awesome to catch up with you and talk about what's going on and what new things, and spread the awareness of suicide, and especially in this industry, because it's hits home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it depends on where we want to take this conversation. I feel like Walk to Talk America is always looking for new and innovative ways to reduce any negative outcome of firearms. So you got suicide, you got negligence, you have inner city youth violence. I mean, we got a program for everything. We got a program for instructors. We got a program for mental health clinicians to understand gun culture. So
yeah, and actually in the 18-hour class, a lot of my students are probably watching, I'm hoping. And in the 18-hour class, I use the Walk to Talk America, as you know, we talked about before. And it's good that I think it's good New York State's requiring it as part of the curriculum, and Utah does too. Requires suicide content, talk. Because I don't think we talk enough about it, especially in New York, because once you do it, it's ERPO, ERPO, red flag. You can't have your guns. We're taking your guns because, you're not mentally stable, because you're looking for help. So you don't do something, and they automatically take it to the extreme.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen situations like that before. And one of the things that I think a lot of gun owners, and I'm assuming everybody watching is just like us, right? Like
usually.
But the outsiders, the people that don't understand, like sometimes they don't understand these laws and how damaging these laws can be, right? So like when we created when you use our curriculum or you show our videos, especially to people that are kind of new to coming into the firearm space, and they see how well it's done and what we talk about and the complexities of the issues, it's really eye-opening for people that otherwise wouldn't have known any better. So we get a lot of positive feedback from non-gun people about that course. And that's what I love, because I feel like I Walk to Talk America, everything I do represents us, right? So when people from the outside world say this is a great tool, I love that, because it's coming from the firearms industry.
Yeah. That's like every town's trying to get into the firearms instruction side of it, just to perpetuate their anti-gun mentality. So, in some senses, when you can't join them, when you can't beat them, join them on their side. But on our side, we're just doing what's right, what's good, which I usually find that is the commonplace in this industry, is people are just like, I just want to be left alone by the government, obviously by bad guys. I just want to do my thing, live in peace. And I think that's the, good, as John Correa says, good, moral, prudent people, that just want to survive and not have the negative aspects of the government and criminality.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue that we faced for so many years, and we're starting to turn that corner, is that we never really had any other solutions than, hey, enforce the laws on the books.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't even do that.
Yeah. Well, and that's a huge issue, right? But we're kind of always on the defensive side of things, right? Like, just like you said, why should somebody who does something stupid with a gun dictate the way we handle it, right? We don't have that attitude with alcohol.
Yeah,
right?
cars.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, but now we're starting to get to this place where the programs that are coming out of the firearms industry are so new and innovative that it's kind of taken away that argument that we're not just going to sit there and be like, pry from a cold dead hands. Which is the expectation level, is when you show them, okay, look, we do not like red flag laws. We do not like ERPOs. They are a detriment to society, and people don't realize why. But then you explain the why, then they're like, well, what are you doing? Like, what's the alternative? When you could name off 10 different alternatives.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even in New York with all the anti-gun laws there are, and then you've got, you try to talk to a politician, why are we putting these laws in place and not enforcing the laws already in the books just to keep bad guys incarcerated? We're letting bad guys out under catch and release, bail reform in New York State. And then in the other term, they're putting laws forward to make good people that go through all the requirements to get a license, to get a pistol, handguns, and we're making them the bad guy. Like if you go into a restaurant, you're not going to drink, but you're going to be the designated driver and designated shooter if must be, and you're a felon, Class C felony in New York State.
New York is one of the worst states, especially when you want to seek mental health help. I mean, I've had, on a podcast, that WTTA's podcast, we've had a couple guests that went to get help, did the right thing, and then found out later that they can't own a gun anymore. And you shouldn't punish people for doing the right thing, right? And that's what Walk Talk America, does for people. It's like provide them where the safeguards are. Like, hey, you could do this, you could do that. But when I get contacted by people in New York, I'm like, you have to be very careful with what
Absolutely.
you do. Some states are different, right?
New York. At one point, I've gone down and met with the politicians in Albany. I have a lot of ones in upstate New York, central New York that I meet with on a constant basis, have coffee and breakfast with, just to kind of heartbeat, kind of understand, where they're coming from, what things are happening. Usually they're all more the conservative, right, the Republican side, because when I went to Albany, I met with a lot of the Democrats. It was prior to COVID. And my first thought going into that is, are they making these laws truly to keep people safe, or do they not want anybody to be armed other than their security, so that way if anybody is against the laws they create, that you're not armed to be able to tell them that they shouldn't be creating laws like that? And I'm starting to lean more that way, because you can't tell me that these, it's a good example with people coming over the border illegally, committing crimes, and they're pushing defund ICE, but not, why is this person killed an American? Let's go, that's bad. But defund ICE, the ones that are actually catching bad guys and taking them out of the country. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Good called evil, evil called good, maybe?
Well, one of the things that I don't get is why so many people in research and behavioral health just lump gun violence altogether. I mean, I know why they do it, right? Because you got to make the number look bigger. But if you truly are about helping,
their narrative.
Yeah, if you're truly about helping people, you need to separate things. To there's not one size fits all solution, right? Me stopping you from having your firearms is not going to stop inner city violence in Compton, right? Like, it's just not. So, it's kind of, you got to walk them through it. One of the things I want to shine a light on for your listeners is that, Walk Talk America gets in rooms that, a lot of gun people wouldn't even dare go in, and we come out unscathed. We usually come out looking great, because it's like being able to deliver the message on how to handle these situations, what the gun industry is doing, to combat some of these things, and making people realize. Like, we brought up ERPOs earlier, and I said, ERPOs get people killed. Now, most people think, why or how is that? What is he saying? And they assume that I'm saying that cops are showing up, they're taking the guns, and then a shootout. It's not. It's more, ERPOs are scaring people from getting help, and no one's ever researched that. So what happens when you're at stage 2 and you decide, I'm not going to risk it. Right. I'm not going to go get help.
I don't want my guns be taken.
Then you get to stage 3. Then you get to stage 4. And that's when tragedy happens, right?
Pot boils over.
Yeah. How many people have taken their life because they were afraid to go get help? And that's what we need to look at when we have ERPOs.
I guess, and this just came to me now. I don't know if this is a good thought or a good analogy or a good, correlation. I hate to bring it up, but like, if a woman's raped, sometimes they don't report it because they don't want to be, cast down upon. They, who's going to believe me? I hear that, in the industry and other interviews where kind of the same thing. I'm thinking, that somebody who's been raped doesn't want to report it because they're afraid of, people, and we see it. We see it with, Monica Lewinsky and all these other things that have happened, and how
they get shamed.
They get shamed, they get disparaged. Same kind of thing. It's something horrible that's happened to you in the rape case. It's something horrible that's happening to you in the suicide, in your mind and your frustrations with life and such. And you don't want people to know that. You don't want to. That's a secret you don't want to let out. And you get this one chance to do it, but then they're going to take all your guns.
Right.
Right. I mean, you could do it in confidence, right, and report it, get some help from a psychiatrist. But if you do that, now I'm not going to be able to have my guns, and what if I get better and then somebody, I need to defend myself.
Yeah. Hey, that's the biggest problem, is that historically, when you look at any kind of suicide prevention or mental health organization, like some of the big ones like AFSP and NAMI and stuff like that, like underlying, if you read between the lines, like they support things like red flag laws. So even if you have someone who's sitting there saying, look, we don't want to take your guns, if the perception is the reality, then people are going to be like, I'm not going to risk it anyways. You know what I mean? So that's why when we built Walk the Talk America, we wanted to make it clear. Like if you go to our website, we have a section on our website that says we are against red flag laws. And I hold that ground no matter who I'm talking to, right? Whether I'm talking to people in behavioral health or research, or I'm talking to gun people. And then we say why, and then we give our alternative solutions, right? If you go to any other mental health organization, they're not going to say that. They're going to,
Yeah, I'm not for ERPOs or red flag either. I think the due process isn't there. You've got, you look at your rights are being given up. Your property can be seized. You got one person, usually a judge, that's going to be stepping in, or I should say, usually a judge that's going to. So one person's making that determination. It's somebody who's said that you've got issues. Maybe it is the individual, but usually other person. Bearing false witness happens. You're not going to be able to face your accuser because obviously the court's going to think that you might take retribution out on that accuser. So that's your whole freaking due process is down the toilet there in multiple layers.
And to put the cherry on the top, they don't care about you getting better.
No,
they just take
your guns.
They take that one thing.
They don't drag their feet to give them back if you ever.
They don't take the knives. No. They don't take the car. They don't take the
pressure cooker,
the garage door off. They don't drain the pool. Yeah. They don't take your medication. Right. They don't even give you a pathway to get help. Yeah. They don't say you need to go talk now to this person who's got, good luck out there. Let me have your guns.
Yeah. I mean, if you do it another way, whatever. It's we got your guns though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So do we really care? I mean, that begs the question: do you really care about saving someone's life or care about their well-being? You don't, because I believe that if you can't have your guns, like if you shouldn't have your guns, I don't want you to have your car.
Right.
I really don't. I want you to get help.
Well, I think like in New York, we call it a 941. So if I show up on the scene and and I've done that, I've had to take people to CPAP for mental situations. But, that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to do that to somebody, but there's questions you ask. And then ultimately you bring them there, and then the doctor's going to make the final determination. I mean, if somebody's trying to commit suicide or did commit suicide, in this case, this young girl that I'm thinking of now, I don't want to do that. But then again, they need help.
Yeah.
And you bring them there, and then in this case, they're like, no, she's fine. They send her home. And the parents didn't even want her to come home because of what she had said and done. They were afraid.
Yeah, that's the problem with crisis, right? Yeah. Like, how long is someone going to stay in it? There are people people have had horrible thoughts, and then they grew out of it. They think about when they were younger. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'd never act like that now.
Stupid things when we were kids.
Yeah, so it's so hard because if I'm a therapist or I'm a psychologist or psychiatrist, I would have a tough time literally saying to somebody, oh, he's okay to have his guns. I can only say what in the now. Yeah. I can only say at this moment, I think, you know what I mean? You can't say in 2 weeks.
Right.
How do you? There's no future predictor of violence. I mean, there's cues, right? Previous violence and little things that people do, but people do that all the time.
I think too. A lot of times politicians have to look at, okay, we're going to create this law, and people are going to abide by it that are good people. So laws, you can't legislate evil out of people, right? So if somebody's going to commit evil, they're going to commit evil. So let's hold them accountable to the fullest extent of the law if they commit evil. And that's, in some sense, you think you're getting the cart before the horse, and we need to stop evil ahead of time. Okay, so then let's get into the minds of people. Let's teach kids how to use guns safely. Let's make sure that we're monitoring what they're saying and stuff in schools, and molding it and moving it versus having drag queens come in and sit there and do storytelling and such. I think the medications and even the stuff in our foods, and we can get conspiracy theory down the road, but I think the way that we live, schools, foods, preservatives, all that stuff, I think all that plays a part in how we just keep getting worse and worse.
Yeah, you said something interesting about medications because, and there's probably a lot of listeners that are on medication and it's doing great for them, right? But how many people use their medication correctly, right? Like, I mean, I have been hanging out with I've had friends before that, you know, talk to me and it's like, oh, my doctor put me on this SSRI, and we're sitting at a bar drinking, and I'm like, I wouldn't go on one of those. I would take 30 days off of drinking.
Yeah.
I would journal how you feel, right? Like really give the medication a chance to work. And I feel like we just give people stuff and we don't give them a roadmap. Especially gun owners. Gun owners need, you know, we love to plan. We love to plan for things. So if you are on medication, I ask that you please like try to use it correctly, just like you would your firearm. You know, you train for it, like journal, but.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good point. And, you know, I've taught many of the 18-hour classes in New York, and I've had the smell of the devil's lettuce lingering in the room. And I'm trying to guess who it might be in the room, but I can't. You're on, you know, you got some lingering coming off you. And I'll usually, at the point when I get to the medical, and usually it's some young kids like, well, in New York State, it's legal. The state allows us to allows us to smoke, smoke marijuana recreationally, and they think it's fine. But then I get to the drug portion, and I'm like, yeah, they'll issue somebody a medical marijuana card in New York State, and they will issue somebody a pistol license in either order, one before the other. It's going to be a problem when you go to buy a gun because you got to answer that question. Are you an illegal user of a controlled substance? And on that 4473, that next line says, even if marijuana is legal in your state, it's still illegal federally. It's still a class 1. So Schedule 1. So you got to get rid of one or the other, is what I tell them. And 0.3% DEA, less than 0.3%, the DEA does not consider that a controlled substance. So hemp CBD with less than 0.3% THC, right? If you're looking for insomnia or pain, cool, right? Great. But anything above that, well, now you're getting into that controlled substance stuff. And even medications, right? Using your medications over your med or mixing it with alcohol is not a great idea.
Right.
Using other people's medications. There's cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. All three of those actually can be prescribed medicines as a Schedule 2. So a Schedule 2 drug, you think, what, I can have meth? Yes, you can. If your doctor prescribes it, it's legal. But if you get it off the street, not legal.
Story.
Yeah. So like there are legal things like cocaine. Once again, those aren't prescribed as often or as much as they used to be back in the day. But there is a way to do it legally, and then you're not illegal of controlled substance. You're a legal user of a controlled substance.
The whole 4473 thing is very interesting because even the mental health question, a lot of people don't understand that. We get calls all the time or emails at WTTA.
Admitted against your will.
Yeah, or like, how do I answer that? Like, what's, or
I get that question too.
Right. When I was younger, I went and checked myself in, or I went to, or I was
self-check-in,
told,
self-check-out.
And it's like they don't understand mentally adjudicated, it confuses a lot of people. I wish they would rewrite the whole thing. But you're right about the drugs and that, especially with weed. I feel like the whole country is on weed sometimes. I'm not the only one who's not, right? Like, no, I really do. I live in Nevada. Leads wiggle that, everybody.
Just ask them, you got the munchies? I'm kind of hungry.
No, but like it's that federal versus state thing, and
it'll eventually be brought taken off Schedule 1, and it should just be treated like alcohol.
Well, this is a great question for you. What would you rather have? Would you rather have a gun owner who's high on weed, or would you rather have him drinking? I think I'd rather have weed. I've seen drinking.
I'd rather have neither, but
of course,
I think one or the other.
What's the lesser of two evils?
They'd probably be more calm on weed.
I think so.
And hungry. So if they're a bad guy and high, just throw them a bag of Cheetos or something. And
I just been around. Alcohol creates a huge.
It does.
Problem.
It does. It's a different type of response. So yeah, I mean, I think if somebody's going to drink and drive, that's bad. If somebody's going to do marijuana and drive, I think that's bad. That's bad too. We had one of those delivery companies right after New York made it medically marijuana or made it recreationally available. Driving down the driveway, 800-foot driveway, 850-foot driveway, and the car literally looked like Cheech and Chong, just like smoke barreling out the windows.
Right.
And the bag smelled like, I opened the door and skunk smell. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, I mean, be responsible. If you're going to do it, be responsible. If you're going to do it in New York, you can't have a pistol license. If or you're going to lie in a federal 4473 form, and the only one that can get away with that is Hunter Biden. True story.
Yeah, that is. But,
So what else? What else you got going on? What other things? We interviewed Ashley Lubinsky recently.
oh yeah, Ashley Lubinsky is she's a board member of Walk Talk America. She does a lot of great work. Openly talks about her bipolar disorder and how she's a gun owner and how she manages that
With medication.
Yep, and does a great job of kind of tearing down the stigma that goes behind it. You know, we're all humans. We love our Second Amendment, right? Like, there are ways that you can have mental illness, you could struggle and battle it, but you could be a responsible gun owner and never hurt yourself or anybody else. And people need to understand that, right? Too many people jump to the conclusion, well, this person's schizophrenic, so they shouldn't own a gun, or this person's this. It's like there are a ton of Ashley Lubinsky's out there, you know what I mean? That are pro 2A and responsible gun owners. So I'm glad you had her on.
One of the things that reminded me, her and I had a conversation years ago at SHOT Show off camera, and she had said that if she had done the medications or they had diagnosed her back then for it, then she wouldn't be as creative as she was, and she probably wouldn't be as successful as she is.
Right.
In a nutshell, I mean, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember it exactly, but to that extent. And it made me think of our son, and we had him on Sturtevant back in the 90s. And one time, back then, poor, broke, kind of forgot to get the medicine redone, couldn't have the money, whatever reason. And he said, please don't put me back on that. I don't feel like myself. And we're like, and now he's successful. He's running a warehouse. He's got, he's 30 years old. He's got a bunch of people working for him, and I'm very proud of him. So in some sense, I think the medication, can help. But in other senses too, I think we need to, kind of like you said, like see how you change, make a log about it. I think that's a great way. We can't just say whatever the doctor says, because, we know in every profession, everywhere, there's shitty people in every profession, even doctors probably maybe aren't even as some aren't as good as others.
Yeah.
And everything we deal with.
We're very careful not to stigmatize medication, right? Like we understand that, you're going to get prescribed that and it can help, or like your son, it could be like, I don't want that. That's great. Self-awareness. I always try to say, like, so many people are on medication, and there's an old saying, stay away from Mike, he's off his meds. You never hear anybody say, stay away from Mike, he's on his meds. So I think there's nuance in this conversation.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean? So we just have to treat it with nuance. We have to discuss these things. And like I said, I think plan is, always something that should come with your medication.
For sure. Well, I'm glad you're on your meds.
Thank you. I'm going to leave you hanging on that one.
Again, so how can people learn more, get involved, donate, help how they can?
Go to WTTA.org, walktalkamerica.org. We're on social medias like IG, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, LinkedIn. It's at Walk the Talk US. If you are pro-gun and you love freedom, and you want to address mental health, you're going to love what you see. We were started in 2018. You've been a supporter of us from day one. Go to the website, check us out, because I really think that Walk the Talk America will give you the ability to love your freedom, love the Second Amendment, but also care about mental health and suicide prevention without feeling you're compromising any of your belief system. If that makes sense.
It does, absolutely. It's always great to have you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. Really appreciate it. And make sure you go to meetthepressers.com/giveaways so you can sign up for the giveaways. We've got over $1,000 in prizes from a bunch of different vendors here. And if you are at the NRA Annual Meeting and exhibits here in Houston, Texas, please check out a lot of the vendors, sponsors, and people we're having on in these live interviews. Thanks. And we'll be back with you shortly with our next guest from Otis. I mean, it's always interesting. All right, and we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. We've got another New Yorker here.
Yeah, pretty rare to run anybody from New York.
Yeah, yeah, in Texas too. It's like I just want to move and stay here in Texas.
I've actually ran into 4 Jareds already. We have another Jared in our booth.
Any from State Farm?
No.
No Jared from State Farm.
Used to be a unique name.
Jared from Otis.
Yep.
There's another Jared right there.
Yeah.
We said Jared, and he looks up.
Yeah, Jared Yanis. You should have him on.
I don't know. He's shifty looking. I don't know if I'm just kidding. Jared Yanis, Guns and Gadgets. So, Otis in New York.
Yeah.
The story is
Behind
amazing.
enemy lines.
Yeah. So, for those of you guys that don't know, Otis actually sponsors my Build Your Own 2A Bear, BEAR. Right? It's not about hunting. So I do a Build Your Own AR class. Heather at Otis has been sending me the mats. So anybody that takes the class gets one of the rifle cleaning mats. And we appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of her, man. I use it all the time.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. And then we've done recordings at the SHOT Show for the past few years. We didn't make it this past one, but next year we'll be there at the Otis studio.
Yeah, that podcast booth has been quite popular.
Yeah. You guys are going to do it again next year?
NRA they must have copied us because there's, 20 of them here?
Is there?
There's a lot of podcasts.
Probably cheaper than the SHOT Show, I would imagine. SHOT Show booth.
Yeah, this is a neat setup. I like it.
What are you guys going to be doing that again at SHOT Show?
Yeah,
next
we
year?
incorporated it into our booth design. We had a new booth design.
So it's not off to the
slightly
side.
downsized, but we kept the exact same size for the podcast booth. And once we committed to that, it's committed to that design for a few years because it's expensive.
Make sure that's on.
Good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Mike shut it off. Just want to make sure the audio was working.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that would suck. And I can't see without my glasses because
They would probably pick me up a little bit on yours.
Yeah, maybe. Has to be leaning like that. So, all right. So, Otis in New York. What new things do you have going on? What kind of? Careful, the camera, sir. The camera. We're recording live. So, what kind of new things you have there going on at Otis? And
I think we're able to talk about it now, but we launched.
Are you telling us first here on our show? Exclusive.
We talked about it a little bit at SHOT Show, but it was kind of like a soft intro to the dealer network.
Gotcha.
But we have a new product line launching late Q3 of this year.
Okay.
It's a like a tool-inspired case design where the multiple sizes of cases will lock together, and then you can configure it any way you want. So it's like a perpetually customizable cleaning experience. Basically, you build it the way you want. We do offer. We're launching with 70 different configurations. You're going to have to use your imagination on that until it actually launches, but it is trademarked. It's going to be called the Otis Flex System.
Flex.
We
That's cool.
literally applied or filed the paperwork for that trademark the day of SHOT, like the day we were there, the first day.
Wow.
So we're really close to the molds now, and we expect to be in market in August timeframe this year, and hopefully it'll be everywhere, and it should be a basically game-changing gun care design.
Very cool.
And then there's a lot more plans to spin off of this, so it's very exciting for us because it's a new look. Our old stuff's not going away. It'll be the round soft pack and the defender size cases are still going to be in market because I think the demand will remain. This will give people another reason to buy gun care. Everybody likes the next latest and greatest thing. So
yeah, for sure. In New York, dealing with gun cleaning stuff, it's not as big as or as bad, I should say, as building guns or whatnot in New York State. You guys run into any of the political problems with bills and laws in New York State when it comes to your business?
Otis has a slight exception because we do have an SOT. So we have full automatic weapons on premises. And
you got to clean them. That's what's better to
because
clean.
we have to. Because we're a defense contractor, we have to be able to create and create gun cleaning equipment to work with the guns that the military uses.
Right.
So as bad as the laws are, Otis has the ability to shoot and work on guns that are not necessarily they're not legal here. Plain and simple, but.
Yeah, I love having my SOT. Don't forget to check out the Fun Gun Shoot on psnet.com coming up July 3rd. Had to throw that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be camping, or I try to find my way there.
Yeah, July 3rd,
great weekend.
Lafayette, New York. So
Very familiar.
anybody here at the NRA Annual Meeting and
Yeah, so if you're at the show, stop by the Otis booth. We have a commemorative sticker
And on the back of that is a coupon code for 26% off. And if you're watching, I don't care if you use that code. It's NRAM26 for 26% off at otistech.com. Yeah, you go ahead and use it if you're watching. That'd be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, and you can get in on the giveaways that we're doing at the show. So meetthepressers.com/giveaways. And Otis is one of the sponsors of that.
Yeah, we have our Elite kit in there. That's our flagship cleaning kit. It's like $160 MSRP. So it's not no small prize. It's a good cleaning kit. It's it's our best selling item. So
yeah. So check that out. Sign up for the giveaway. It goes on through the end of the month, and then we'll be picking a winner at the beginning of May.
Yeah.
Super. So you got a new product coming out. You got
a major launch. Yeah.
It's a sticker. You got.
Oh yeah.
You got a sticker, kind of like. I mean, like I got my Matt Mallory spiky hair sticker here.
This is for my YouTube channel. I have a channel called Mud Lake Ranch, named after my property in upstate New York, and I primarily do guns and gear reviews on that channel. I haven't gotten into the political commentary yet, like everybody else has. But
in New York, it's ripe, for the picking.
I feel like I complain too much as it is, and you guys can get your news from people like Jared Yanis, who is sitting here. That's where I get my gun news from to find out what's going on. But yeah, I like to just experiment and review firearms. It's a lot of fun, and it lets me get out some of my creative, juice. Because I actually went to school for art, and now I'm in the gun world, so it's kind of
art.
Yeah, paid for that until I was like 30-something years old too.
That's interesting.
I went for sculpture at Syracuse.
I did tech.
Yeah,
technology.
I don't know how I ended up in what I do now, but whatever.
Yeah, you find yourself in weird places.
Oh yeah, great time.
So before we went on, you were talking about chickens. You had a bunch of chickens, and
right now I have only 4.
Okay.
But right before I came here, I got in 26 pheasants, ringneck pheasants.
Really?
I ordered them from like Farland Game Farm or something like that. And what the plan is to raise them. In New York, you have to have a permit for wild game breeding, and I applied for the non-commercial license, and they cashed my check. I haven't got the license.
What do they charge you for that?
$40.
Man.
But you can raise them, release them, and shoot them during the season, as long as you don't charge other people to do it. As long as it's for personal use, you can do that.
So we're not doing that. To my wife, Christy, we are not doing that because you know darn well
they might have survived in your market.
Well, our daughter would name every one of them.
Yeah. For us, where I live, Tughill Plateau, a pheasant can't survive the winter. Whereas down like in the lower like Syracuse area, there are some areas with grasslands, and they have to be able to get to the ground like all year long. And we get way too much snow up on that hill.
Yeah. Well, in Lafayette, we get feet of snow.
Yeah, you guys get a little elevation there. So like in the valleys or like Chittenango area, Syracuse area, they have some that actually survive, or can breed. They have the release programs down there. They don't have them for my
kind of like the snakes in Cicero Swamp, the rattlesnakes.
Yeah, there's some they call them timber rattlers.
In Cicero Swamp, it's crazy. Like I heard that one time.
Some on some of the Adirondack Mountains too, the stony areas, I guess. I've luckily never seen one.
Foxes.
Yeah. So we were talking about the chickens. I have 4 currently. I probably lost some to fox last year because I definitely had about a dozen. But one year we lost, I think it was 26 within a couple days span because I had a fox litter at the neighbor's house.
Ravaged them. Yeah, we lost. I was telling you, we lost 30. We had 60 one year, about 4 years ago. We're up to 72 or something now, but about 60, and we lost 10 per day, so 30 total over like a 2-week period. I think it was the same fox.
You think you're protecting them. Like I would let them in, close the door at night, and then open it when I leave for work. And once they find out they're there, they can wipe them out so quick that you really don't have an opportunity to do anything really about it. So if you lose one, then you got to be on high alert because they're all going to be gone soon.
Do you have any roosters?
I don't have any roosters anymore. I did.
The fox got them all.
I did for a while, but they were bantams. They were actually mean as heck.
Yeah.
The bantams go at you and hit you with their spurs, like cut you.
We got
I get electrocuted when they shock you in the back of the leg. One of the things. Wow.
We got a Silky. He's a little. I punted him across the yard once. He's fine with me now, but every once in a while he'll kind of go after our daughter.
Yeah, our mean was named Dale. My kid's Dale. I don't know where he got that from. But
Dale.
I remember him.
Ours is Chip.
Yeah.
Chip and Dale. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah, they liked it when I was a little baby, but that thing got
The roosters usually do. We got 8 roosters total, and we don't know. We just hatched 10 more out of the incubator from our chickens, and I don't know how many are going to be.
That's cool that you're doing that. My neighbor does that. She's got somewhere near 100 chickens and they incubates them and stuff.
Yeah, and we do that. It's a good, we homeschool, so it's a good project for our daughter to kind of do that. And then the goats, we just had 5 baby goats born, so that's fun. I was literally up the other night shaving hooves on one of the goats until like 11 o'clock.
Get like milk from the goats?
That's our goal. We just started in November.
I know there's a couple things. Some people have meat goats, which is a really, I don't know, delicacy or rarity. Otherwise, you just got hay burners, and they just
they eat a lot of hay. Yeah, we're doing milk because my wife does our Mallory Market Be Well products, so she does a bunch of
huge fan of goat cheese. So I appreciate anybody that's making
the milk stuff. That's what we're hoping to do. So we go from Otis to chickens to goats. Look at that.
Yeah, we all have hobbies.
Hey, we all have
people
hobbies,
people that are into guns tend to be natural hobbyists.
Mm-hmm.
And we feed our addictions. Like me, I collect vintage snowmobiles, I collect guns, I collect chickens, evidently.
I'll sell you a snowmobile. I got one I'm trying to get rid of. Anyway. All right, so what else we got at Otis? Anything else? How's Bill doing?
Bill is actually, Bill, our current CEO, is, we announced Brad McIntyre as our new CEO January 1st. Bill is still on board. I think this is his last couple days with the company.
Oh, wow.
Now going into retirement. And Brad McIntyre has been with us for 26 years, somewhere on there. Don't get mad, Brad. I don't know how long you've been there. I've been here 5.
At least you got your name right.
Yeah. So Brad's our new CEO as of January 1, and excited about that. We're going to be, Otis is doing exceptionally well this year, and with the new products, very exciting things happening. And we have, if you're at the show, NRA here, don't remember our booth number. That's great. We're near Glock. So you're looking for landmarks near Glock.
You know where you can find their booth number out. meetthepressers.com/giveaways. Their booth number's right on that page.
There you go. Awesome.
It's actually 2002.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
We're right next to the entrance. I found it, no problem. You can too.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Well, I'll have to say hi to Bill. Bill's a student of mine. He reminded me at SHOT Show last year that he took the stakes ages ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'd like to actually do that. We should get together sometime.
You should. Yeah, host me up there.
Finding free time is very hard, but you can do it up there. Oh, yeah.
Do it anywhere. Awesome. I used to travel and do it.
One of my goals for this year was to get additional rifle training, pistol handling training. I get the basics, but I'm on camera a lot for my own channel and for Otis, and we need to up the game on.
You're just not doing this.
Professionalism.
Is this clean?
Yeah. Don't ever do that. Even with a finger, it made me want to move.
All right. Finger muzzle, finger muzzle. I'll even say, no, this is a good thing for the cleaning. I'll say in my classes, most people shoot themselves when they're drawing or reholstering the gun, especially if it's like a Glock that doesn't have a mechanical safety. And we think, why? Well, clothing or finger gets on the trigger either when you're drawing or reholstering, and that's going to be the more common times people shoot themselves. But you'd be surprised how many people say in my classes they think it's when they're cleaning the gun. And I say, well, you're supposed to unload the gun.
So as long as present.
Exactly. So if you unload it first before you do any kind of anything else, then the chances go down dramatically. But when we're talking carrying a gun for self-defense, you're going to have it loaded. Round in the chamber for self-defense is how you should carry. But the caveat to that is this has to be under control.
And maybe
whether you have a safety or not, external safety.
And maybe they're doing it on the trigger pull for the Glock takedown, but still pointing in the safe direction. That's the that's basic gun safety.
Finger muzzle, finger muzzle. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Check them out.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on,
Otis. And then don't forget to sign up for the giveaway. That's it for today. We're done recording all of our episodes today. We'll be back tomorrow and recording live as long as the Wi-Fi keeps going. And we have a slew of guests that will be coming on tomorrow. So we'll try to get those push out there so you know who's going to be coming on and you guys can mark it in your calendar. But we're recording again tomorrow and again on Sunday. And if you're here, make sure you check us out. Clint and I are both teaching classes. I'm off to teaching a little bit. Clint's off teaching right now. That's why there's a ghost in the chair over there. So check us out. Thanks. Stay safe.